Very little has been said, very little has been written about him as a lawyer. And us as lawyers, this is a part, of course, political side is important and all that. But people must also know that, a great statesman was also a lawyer. And today we're going to hear more about that. And I'm excited about this. And I'm looking forward to this part, to the lecture today.
As you know, I want to talk about Mandela the lawyer. And why this is important for me, and I suppose for other people who think like me, is that we know a lot about Mandela. He probably is one of the few politicians and leaders across the world who is as studied as he is. We know about his youth, we know about his incarceration, we know about his activism, and we know about his subsequent presidential years. But there's approximately about 18, and that's how much I counted, about 18 books that are devoted either substantially or in full to the life of Mandela. But the one thing that will strike you about all of these sort of biographical accounts of Mandela is how little is said about his role as a lawyer. He registered for native administration. He registered for native law and custom. He registered for anthropology and English, and of course, Roman Dutch law. And his intention was to qualify with a BA. And at the time, he did not want to be a lawyer. So it seems that one of the things we have not yet come into grips with is the extent to which Mandela's cousins, immediate cousins, might have influenced his decision to become a lawyer. April 1941, arrives in Johannesburg, and later on works for a law firm called Witkins, Sidelsky and Eidelman. And thereafter registers at Wits. You'll see that in the first year, 1943, he failed everything. And I mean, look, this is perfectly understandable. I mean, I don't know why you guys are laughing. Okay, so this is a letter that he wrote in 1948 to the faculty. If you look at it, I should add that during the whole period, I studied under very difficult and trying conditions. I was a part-time student and resided, as I still do, at Orlando native location in a noisy neighborhood. In the absence of electric light, I was compelled to study in the evenings with a paraffin lamp and sometimes with candlelight. Now, Mandela did not behave as if he were black. An anecdote in Anthony Sampson's biography is typical of his approach. Mandela, walking boldly through the whites-only entrance to a courtroom, was stopped by a young white clerk with a dark complexion who told him, "This is for whites." Mandela immediately responded, "Then what are you doing here?" Mandela, not being afraid to assert himself and being a confident man and also being a flamboyant lawyer and being able to take on magistrates as and when the necessity arises, and not being personally overawed by the system of whiteness.
I remember that Mandela and Tambo were always not immaculately dressed, but well-dressed, very well-dressed. The story of Mandela the lawyer, it's marvelous that you're telling it in a contained way, because that story's never told. But it's got its own logic and its own significance. But somehow you can't detach the story from his politics.
So at this point, you can see the shift from Mandela the lawyer to Mandela the revolutionary. All right. And that is where that ends. It ends with him being sentenced to 5 years. And after that sentence, you see he was 44 years at the time he was sentenced. That's with him being sentenced to 5 years. And the next thing that happens is he is then, while serving that period, served with another indictment, but this time for Rivonia, for acts of sabotage. And out of that, he is then sentenced to life imprisonment. And so, this then marks the end of an incredible story of Mandela the lawyer. We never hear again from the time that he is sentenced to this period of 5 years.